I think there's been a lot of talk about how social media can be very isolating for people, but you believe it actually reduces isolation.
It kind of helps with the mental health. It allows us to see that there's other people being affected with the same type of conditions. Just that positive feeling that, hey, you're not alone in this world. Don't be ashamed. There's nothing ashamed because, hey, we all have something going on. It could be physical, mental. It's great tool. Any tools we can have, it helps us with any type of treatments we want down the road. If you set a good time, like a cap for our social media, stick to it if you can. Take breaks, social media, sometimes a 24-hour, we call it 24-hour detox from social media. Put the phone down and mental health be the primary source of recovery versus focusing on everybody else's lives.
Hey everyone, it is Kevin Henry, the founder of Dental Assistant Nation and the host of the Dental Assistant Nation podcast. So excited to have you join us today. We know how valuable that your time is, and thank you, dental assistants, for all you do. I'm really excited about today's topic because I think it's very timely, and it's one that the more I talk to dental assistants and about social media usage, the more I think that today's topic can really help you navigate through all the social media that you have on a daily basis. And so today we're talking with Sean Leonard, who's a nurse practitioner at Healthy Life Recovery. Sean, how are you?
Very good. Thanks for the call today. I really appreciate it. This is a great topic today.
Well, I appreciate you being on. I know you do so much and are so passionate about what social media can do on a positive level. And
Right.
so I want to dive into that. But before we do, love for our audience to know just a little bit more about you.
I'm a board certified psychiatric nurse practitioner, also primary care as well. I pretty much do addiction medicine up to any mental health conditions. We do outpatient, and we're on to the holistic approach to mental health as well. So thanks for, again, giving me this time.
Oh, absolutely. We know how important mental health is today. And so I'm really excited to talk about this topic and to see how social media helps us because I think there's been a lot of talk about how social media can be very isolating for people. But you believe it actually reduces isolation. So tell me about that and how you see that happening.
Well, with the part people say isolation, it kind of helps with the mental health. You have a broader picture of what helps out there, what different modalities are out there for people to reach out. It allows us to see that there's other people being affected with the same type of conditions and whether treatments we could do besides support groups. It makes mental health more popular to say, I have problems and I need help. So, for sure.
And I love that because I think sometimes we wonder, is it okay to say we need help? Is it okay for us to admit we're dealing with things? How is it best to just admit that? Is it just to be very blunt and say, I'm having these problems, who can help me?
Yeah, I think about it. It's the stigma of probably about 20 years ago. Hey, I have depression and I'm on medications. People are, oh, stay away from that person. Now it's just that you can reach out and say, hey, to your employer, I'm having some issues. I'm having some anxiety. I'm having some depression. I'm not doing well. And just that positive feeling that, hey, you're not alone in this world because it's a high rate people are experiencing. It gives them that comfort that don't be ashamed. There's nothing ashamed because, hey, we all have something going on. It could be physical, mental, but now the mental part, if we can work on it sooner than later, much better outcomes for sure.
And I know so many dental assistants are out there on TikTok, and nothing wrong with that at all. And there's other social media platforms that they're on as well. Sometimes they're learning, sometimes they're doom scrolling just to distract themselves a little bit. What do we need to know in your mind about mental health and social media usage?
It's great tool. Any tools we can have is it helps us with any type of treatments we want down the road. Gives us exposure. Problem at times is if we're using it more for distraction, it does foster problems with the dopamine centers in the brain. So if healthcare workers, dental assistants, for sure, it's easy to get that brain fog where you're scrolling on certain aspects to push the time away. It can lead to relapses in focus, overall deficiencies in patient care outcome. So, yeah.
What's your feeling on social media usage before bed? Because I can tell you personally, I get stuck going down the rabbit hole sometimes on Instagram videos and everything else. How do you see that impacting us as a human race?
It affects, for sure, a lot of people, and with regards to sleep. The blue light, we have a lot of problems. It hits the dopamine center, and pretty much we want that reward system going on, and it's very addictive. The problem is anxiety, depression tend to fluctuate. Our sleep or hours will actually decrease. We don't get in the proper sleep REMs. So when we wake up, we have that brain fog, and it just will make our the next day, probably not as productive.
So, what's your best advice for maximizing that quality time on social media and not just flipping through like I do sometimes to get to that next video?
I love it. Set time limits. If you set a good time, like a cap for our social media, stick to it if you can. No more endless like scrolling to see what's going on, and kind of watch out for the negative content because the negative content is very addictive. Research shows that 80% of our time we have negative thoughts versus those good 20% of positive thoughts. Take breaks, social media. Sometimes a 24 hour, we call it 24-hour detox from social media. If you do that once a week, that's pretty impressive. And then always check your emotions, put the phone down, and mental health be the primary source of recovery versus focusing on everybody else's lives.
I'm glad you brought that up because so often everything looks so perfect on social media sometimes. And I think sometimes it helps us not feel so great about our situation, what we're going through. How do we stop maybe comparing ourselves in real life to what we see on video or on social media?
Great question. I would say if you can actually limit your exposure as much as you can for the negative, like I said, negative content, and then the things for burnout as well. It's very hard because it is an addiction, as we all know. We want to know what everyone else is doing. Is the Joneses is doing better than us, right? So we're very hooked on any type of platform. But it's a addiction that rewards that part of the brain that the brain gets really will crave it, and it's something that you have to say, hey, this is a bad addiction because it will take your time away. You'll get actually personal burnout. Relationships do take effect, but yeah, just know it is an addiction for sure.
So, big question here. How do dental assistants and really all of us know when we need that mental health checkup, check in, whatever it might be?
Yes. Yeah. I would say find out if you can do an average time on your phone, how much you are spending on it. If it's more than, I would say, a good 10% of your day, then there's a bad addiction that you need to focus on. And then see how mood is, mood in your relationships in general. Here's one way of doing it. So, for instance, I like coffee. So, if I stop taking coffee, I'll have headaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
So same thing with the social media aspect. You could do the same thing. So if you start coming off it, your mood gets a little bit more irritated, more angry. Your brain's not getting that reward, and so then you know that it's beyond the time limit. So I would say set proper time limits. See how relationships are with family, friends, cohorts, and then see how productivity at work is doing. If you're spending more time, hey, I got the patient in, the client in, we're doing a procedure, and you're grabbing your phone, that's a bad sign.
And I'll be honest, I battle this because whenever I get that screen time report from Apple at the end of the week, it's usually not good. I'll say, well, I use it for work or I'm using it for maps if I'm on a travel or whatever it might be. But it's very eye opening to me to see how much time I'm actually spending on social media and then thinking back to what production is actually coming from that as well.
Correct. If you get a chance, put your phone away at night for the next week. If you can stop jumping on any social aspects, like say you go to bed at 10 o'clock, if you can stop at like around 7 o'clock, see how you feel. If you feel like your brain's still craving that, then you know that's a big issue.
As I mentioned earlier, I know a lot of dental assistants I talk to. My daughter is 27. She's in physical therapy. They learn a lot from TikTok, from Instagram, from each other. How do we balance the good that maybe we get from social media versus some of the issues that can come from that as well?
That's great. You're right. It's a great, I mean, before we used to have to read the books, right? Or we're doing a procedure. Now that I have something going on at home, I can jump on TikTok, I can go on YouTube, and it actually lets me fix the problem in the house or, cook something. It makes sense, right? However, if your content is more about not education, but more of even podcasts, right? Like this is amazing, actually learning something
Yeah.
versus you look into TikTok or anything for a dance thing that you're not really doing. And you feel like it's not benefiting your life in a positive manner. And you'll know that if it's positive, then different story. But if you spend so much time on your phone, what's the rest of the world like when you walk out?
How do you see maybe social media addiction, the time we spend on social media versus the different generations? I'm of a different generation, obviously, my daughter, we look at things differently. Do we look at things differently, social media and phone wise, just from generation to generation as well?
I think so. Depends on actually age, like you said, also profession as well. It's interesting. I've seen more of my clients in assisted living facilities. They're already retired. They are on social media pretty impressively high rate. I would say it's getting higher percentage that this generation or Z, as they call it now, compared to mine. I would say my kids and stuff, they're on it a lot. I just have to watch them say the percentage is getting so high that if it affects your schooling, affects like in your relationships. But that's a problem, and that problem, like all addictions, all anything that we crave, we gotta balance it out. It's a work life and life balance, period. Again, the retirees, it's impressive how high the boredom kicks in, and I think that tells the programs where they're at that we need to engage the brain. Brain is like a muscle. If you don't use it, you will lose it. You'll see them, the cognition scores go down. That's why we do a lot of neurofeedback stuff so we can engage the brain, get it going again. And so memory issues are a little less, but yeah.
And last question for you. One of the things that I see so often is I'll go out to a restaurant and there's people sitting across from each other on their phones, you know? How do we become more connected with each other? I mean, especially face to face. How do we make sure that the phone doesn't take over our conversations while we're trying to have them with each other?
No, that's a great thing. That's the best question you ever for the whole day is that because, yeah, you do see that. You'll see them all getting together. We're getting together and they're all on their phones. So a strict rule that I apply to my family life and to my patients is like when you're going out, unless it's work related, like you're on call or something, set those boundaries. Put the phone away. I mean, if you can't put the phone away, there's your problem. But put your phone away when you're engaging with everybody else, your family members, friends. They say the best reward in life is to give them your actual attention. If you can give them your actual attention, that's better than money or anything else. That really makes a difference in relationships, marriages, friendships, and definitely work. But yeah, put the phone away. If you can't put it away, there's your problem.
And I'm really glad you said that because dental assistants in dentistry, so often those patients need our attention. And dental assistants, you do such a great job of providing undivided attention to that patient in the chair. And maybe it's time we do that at the restaurant or, you know, wherever we might be as well. So
join us at CE on the Beach, June 26th to 28th, 2025, at the stunning Westin Grand Cayman Resort and Spa. This is the ultimate destination event for dentists, teams, coaches, and speakers. Save your spot now and get $150 off with promo code KHENRY. Visit ceonthebeach.com to register today.
Sean, hey, thank you so much. I'm curious, is there anywhere that you suggest if people want more information? You know, maybe they need to learn a little bit more about phone addiction and maybe how they can break that cycle.
Oh, please, yes. There's a lot of addiction type. And again, it's not drug related, but it's sort of a lot of addiction and websites you can go to. If you go to mine, it's a NuGen Wellness, NuGenWellness.org. We have some articles. We have some things that will show you directions you could go to. But yeah, people don't realize the number one addiction in life right now is not a drug, it's social media. And if you can use it right, it will definitely benefit your life. And if you overuse it, we know the benefits and the pros and cons. So I think, again, great topic. And thank you for the dental assistants. They're amazing. And I know they have a tough job, and I really appreciate what they do. And could it get bored at times? I could see so, if it's routine patterns. If the employer can actually, the dentist can say, you know what, maybe we need to change things up a little bit, get the brain going a little fresh, different job title, different job tasks throughout the week, things would change. But again, thank you for this topic so much.
Oh, absolutely. And Sean, I'll be honest, I'm a little selfish because I have an issue with this as well. So it was good to have you on and me hear those words just as much as my audience. So thank you so much for the time today.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you right back and appreciate all of you dental assistant listeners. Hey, we know your time is valuable. We try to tackle issues sometimes that maybe are a little touchy, maybe a little dicey, but we want to make sure that we're helping you not just become the best dental assistant you can be, but the best human that you can be as well. So yes, absolutely. Reach out. If you need mental health, don't keep that a secret. Reach out to someone and let them know that you need some help, and it's okay to say that. Until next time, Kevin Henry, host of the Dental Assistant Nation podcast and founder of DA Nation, signing off, and as always, wishing you nothing but success ahead.